corn ready. I don't know about the rest of you guys. You know, if you want to buy Yeti products, you can go to Go Hunt and save some money if you use promo code Randy. Anyhow, thanks for being here. Are we really live? Okay, today I have two production guys with me. I have Jonathan and I have Paul. And I think they're jerking my chain about the fact that we're really live because there's this big delay between what you see on my screen and what supposedly feedback we're getting from the audience. But anyhow, how about this? We're back doing Elk Talk Live every Wednesday night, same time. This is episode number 103 of Elk Talk Live. Now brought to you by GoHunt.com. It is application season, right? So tonight we're gonna talk about Wyoming elk applications. So if you hear all this and you want more stuff than what we talk about tonight, go to GoHunt.com, sign up for the Insider, use promo code Randy, and save $50. Well, you get a $50 gift card for their gear shop. And now they have 3D maps, all the drawouts, all that stuff. But also want to make sure that, you know, we do this, right? We start out, we read who the sponsors are, and then at the end we read who the sponsors are. So, Bowtech. All right. I apologize that I've got a year-old bow right here. They just sent me the other one, the Session. This is the Revolt. But their new bows just came out. Bowtech is who talked us into starting this 4 years ago. So go to bowtecharchery.com. And if you want to text from them about when we're going live, text Randy to 64600 and Bowtech will notify you every time we go live for this. Loophole.com. All right. Let's see. Gerber Gear. If you want the Randy Newberg knife. No, we don't pay full retail anywhere, okay? Don't pay full retail. That's the story. Don't pay full retail. Use promo code Randy. Go to gerbergear.com. You can get these knives 20% off when you use promo code Randy. So other places where you can use promo code Randy and you save money, Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls saves you 15%. Kenetrek boots. I don't have boots, but I got my Kenetrek runners on. Go there, and when you use promo code Randy, you're going to get a $75 pair of gaiters free for your boot purchase. If you want to save 10% on the following items: Yeti coolers, Black Gold archery sights, tight spot quivers, ripcord arrow rests, Mystery Ranch backpacks. Here's what you do. You go to the Go Hunt gear shop, and when you check out, you use promo code Randy, and they'll give you 10% off. What a country, huh? And then if you like coffee, go to the Elkhorn Coffee Roasters, and when you use promo code Randy on orders over $30, they'll save you 15%. And last, University of Elk Hunting course, when you use promo code Randy, you save $20. Whew. Man, sorry about that, folks, but that's why this is free, because those folks pay the bills. So today we are talking about Wyoming, and if you were out on my Instagram page, we do Instagram stories, and we have all of these questions that get sent to us, and then we get all these questions that people post in the feed here, and they ask, you know, I don't know how many, holy cow, we got a lot of questions already. Whew, how am I going to get through all these? I'm not going to get through them all, but I'm going to give you the general outline in Wyoming. This year, Wyoming's elk application is due February 1st. Normally it's January 31st, but for some reason this year they said February 1st. So don't miss the deadline. If you miss the deadline, then you aren't in the drawing and you'll have to go buy a point when the point purchase period opens in July. So Wyoming has this strange thing where they split every non-resident tag, so or point code, hunt code. By statute, Wyoming has to give us non-residents 7,250 tags every year. Their legislature said you're going to issue 7,250 non-resident elk tags in Wyoming. And how that works is the limited entry tags, they give us 16% of them. And whatever it takes after the 16% of limited entry tags are given, they add on to that general tags to get to the 7,250. So we know kind of a general rule of how many tags we're going to get as non-residents. Well, they take the pool of non-resident tags and they split it two ways. Regular draw, which is the lower price, special draw, which is almost $570 higher, and supposedly better draw odds, but it's the same tag either way. So when you go to apply, you have to decide, do I want to pay the regular price or do I want to pay the expensive price? 60% of the tags go in at the regular price. The other 40% go over here in the high dollar draw. And then in each of those draws, so they conduct the pool of regular tags as one draw, then they conduct the pool of special tags as a separate draw. When they're doing those separate draws, they take that pool of tags, and I'm going to use an example. There's 100 non-resident tags for a hunt code, even though there's hardly any Wyoming hunts where they're giving away a non-resident quota of 100 tags. But for this example, that's what we're going to use. So 60 of the tags go over here to the lower price regular draw. 40 of the tags go over here to the higher price special draw. So in this higher price special draw, they then split it 75-25, where 75 are going in a preference point fashion. In other words, preference points are the person with the most points gets the tag. And then the other 25% are going to get allocated based on just a random draw. So these 40 tags, everybody in the special pool goes in the preference point draw. And they say, who's got the most points? You get this first batch of tags. Then the other pool of tags, so in that 40 that went in the special pool, 30 go on the preference point. In other words, 75% of the 40%. And the remaining 10 go in a random draw. And it doesn't matter how many points you have, you still have a chance in the random draw. And then they do that same thing over in the regular draw. So Wyoming is a preference point state with the notion that not 100% of the tags are in the preference point pool. The downside about Wyoming is you have to front all the money. So the deadline's February 1st. If you've got a limited budget of how much money you can front for all these applications that happen in the spring, Wyoming takes a big chunk of your money right away. And they don't do their draw till about May 20th. Yeah, it's weird. What? I've asked them, and there's a good explanation for why they do their draw on May 20th. The explanation of why they have a deadline of February 1st is not very good, but it's what we deal with. So they sit on your money all that time. They do the draw May 20th, and then they give you a refund if you didn't draw sometime in June. So, and then they charge you a 2.5% transaction fee and a $15 application fee on top of that. And the application fee and the transaction fee are non-refundable. The license fee, yeah, you're going to get that back if you don't draw. So that's a nutshell of how Wyoming works. And some of the little intricacies of Wyoming is for a lot of the units, if you see a unit, and when I say this, what comes to mind is the units in the Bighorn Mountains. If you see a Type 9 tag for that unit, that means the only way you can hunt that unit with archery is if you draw the Type 9 tag. Most of the other units, if you have a Type 1 or Type 2 tag, you can come and hunt the 1st of September through the 30th of September with your bow, and then you can come back in the rifle season. So that's an awful lot of opportunity. It's good hunting there. I mean, I had a general tag last year, but I got too wrapped up mule deer hunting, and it ate up most of my week that I was going to have allocated also to some elk hunting. But Wyoming has a lot of public land, especially in the central and the western half of the state. It has really, really good age class. What I would say the quality of a hunt that you're going to have on the general tag in Wyoming, which in the regular draw takes about 3 points and the special draw takes about 1 point. In other states, to have that quality of hunting with that amount of opportunity, you're probably going to be, I would say it would take 6, 7, 8 points to draw an equivalent tag to that in some other state. So that's Wyoming. Go do it. Now I'm looking to see if anyone has any Wyoming questions. Tomorrow on our YouTube channel, we're releasing a video that has a lot more about Wyoming. Oh, let's see. Someone asked me, Randy, why do you prefer the Nosler AccuBond over the Nosler E-tip? I don't necessarily. It depends. Some of my rifles, every rifle has its own little personality, and we're really splitting hairs here. I would say the majority of my rifles like E-tips slightly better than AccuBonds. But every once in a while, I'll get a rifle that it's the opposite. So I'm not going to try force the square peg in a round hole. The rifle's telling me what it wants. That's what I'm going to shoot. My default preference is, though, what are these? These are, oh, this is partitions. Here's some E-tips right there. In our crew, I don't know, Marcus, he's a big E-tip fan. Michael likes AccuBonds. I shoot partitions, E-tips, AccuBonds, all the above. But somebody says, please keep telling everyone how good the hunting is in Colorado. This person must live in Wyoming or Idaho or somewhere. It's always funny whenever, no matter what state we talk about, everyone's like, move along, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. But you never know. Can you draw Wyoming elk without any points? Yes, you can, because 25% of the tags in every hunt code go into a random draw. You can draw in the random draw, and some people do every year. So that's the reason that I tell people maybe you should apply in Wyoming instead of just by a point. Actually apply, because what if you're that lucky one who your number comes up in the random draw? So let's see. Randy, I'm at 4 points in Wyoming. I'm guaranteed to draw in Colorado this year. How many points in Wyoming would it take for it to become your long-term plan? Well, that's kind of interesting, because this person here has obviously watched a lot of my videos where I say you should have a short term, which is 0 to 4 years. You should have a midterm, 5 to 9 years. And you should have a long-term plan that's double digits and above. Wyoming's one of those states where you can almost decide if you want Wyoming to be your short-term plan, apply for the general tags. And then there's a bunch of Wyoming hunts that you can draw with 5 to 9 points. So it could be your midterm strategy state. Or if you want to shoot for the fences, well, you can be your long-term state too, because the maximum, this is going to scare a lot of you away. Wyoming's system has been in place now for 15 years for non-residents. Residents don't have a point system, but non-residents do. And so the maximum number of points this year is 15. But if you look at how many people are in the Wyoming point system, non-residents, you guys ready for this? 124,000 non-residents are in Wyoming's elk point system. They give away 7,000 tags a year to non-residents. Let me do the math on that. That means there's 17 years worth of non-residents already in the Wyoming system. If no non-residents ever jumped into the system in Wyoming again, there's enough non-residents in that elk system right now to take every tag for the next 17 years. And that just put the wind out of everybody's sails. But just know that a lot of those people are applying for the really, really hard to draw units. And so those double-digit folks, they don't plow through those people very quickly, because they keep applying for the really hard one, or they just buy points, So those of us who don't focus on the super, super hard to draw units, we can hunt Wyoming every 2, 3, 4, 5 years, depending on which draw you put in for. So let's see. Somebody asked a question here about the Wyoming outfitter rule in wilderness areas. Where did it go? All right. Someone says, how much does the Wyoming wilderness require a guide rule in Wyoming hinder a non-resident? This is like a can of worms. 6.5% of Wyoming is wilderness area. if you get rid of Yellowstone National Park. I think it's 6.5% last time I looked. So that means 6.5% of Wyoming is designated wilderness, and by that I mean it is a designated area under the Wilderness Act of 1964. That requires, those areas require a non-resident to either use the services of an outfitter, or you have a Wyoming resident who serves as your unpaid assistant, or whatever you want to call it. So people say, oh, I hate Wyoming, you know, they do this to us, they do that to us. Well, they give us 16% of the limited entry elk tags, and then they give us another big stack of general tags. For deer, I think they're giving us 25 or 30%, and for antelope, they're giving us over 30%. So Wyoming is super generous to non-residents. And a lot of people get on me and say, Newberg, you're the public land guy. Why aren't you on Wyoming? Why aren't you complaining about this wilderness rule? Well, the reason I'm not is because the only state that's more generous is Colorado. My state of Montana, we only give non-residents 10%. Idaho, 10%. Utah, Nevada, Arizona, 10%. New Mexico only gives self-guided non-residents 6%. And then we got Wyoming giving us 16% of the limited entry elk tags, plus probably double that in the amount of general tags. I have a hard time getting too mad at Wyoming, even though I think it's a screwed up rule. I mean, let's face it, we know why it's there. It's kind of a gift to the folks who benefit from that. So, but anyhow, let's see what else we got that are Wyoming questions. I'm trying to sort all the Wyoming questions before we start answering general questions. Somebody is asking, what about cow elk? Wyoming, Montana, or Colorado? I'd say any of the above. All three of those states have really good cow elk hunting. Not even a question. Let's see. And if you like hunting cow elk, I'd go do it, because anyone who thinks cow elk hunting is some sort of like black eye thing, no. Go hunt all those cow elk you want. Be proud of it. Don't let anybody dismiss the value of cow elk hunting. And Wyoming has a ton of opportunity for that. Let's see, Randy, when elk hunting and possibly mule deer, 300 Win Mag or 7mm? Yes. it's whatever you have and whatever you shoot best. A 300 and a 7mm, they're just fantastic cartridges. Don't argue between the two. Pick whatever you prefer or whatever you have and go hunt with it. Oh, here's one. John says, am I going to be able to get ammunition before next elk season? I might have to pick up an archery tag and a bow and arrow just so I can hunt this fall. Well, don't count on that either, because last year, our friends out here at Big Sky Archery, they sold out of bows. If you needed to go buy a bow to go hunting after about, I don't know, June 30th, you're done. So don't count on that either. Ammo, I was talking to our friends at Nosler just yesterday. They are running at maximum capacity of the factory, and they're struggling to keep up. And everyone says, well, why is it? Is it hoarding? Well, maybe it is. But we have, right now, since this time last year, we have 7 million new gun owners in the United States. So think about if each of them bought 3 boxes of ammo, whether it's for handgun, long gun, whatever. That's 21 million boxes of ammunition that just went to them. So I don't know what the answer will be with ammo. I'm one of those guys who, if you came to my house and around this office here, if you added it all up, I'm north of 5,000 rounds of live ammo. So I'm going to get through a season or two. But when I start seeing bare spots in that big vault, I start getting fidgety. So, and this crew here, I think they're selling ammo on the black market because I get all this ammo and I got a whole case of 300 Win Mag 180 grain AccuBonds this year. And Michael on our crew, I don't know, I know he doesn't practice very much because I saw him miss an elk yesterday on YouTube. He had to shoot it a second time to come within, well, he drilled it the second time, but the first time the bullet hit like 8 feet away. I'm like, there's no way he's practicing that much. But he went through almost a case this fall. I think he's selling it on the black market or swapping it for fishing lures or something. Sorry, Michael. I already joked to him about that. What is my favorite scope, rifle scope for elk hunting? It is a Leupold VX5 HD. It's fantastic. I love it. Randy, when are you finally going to hunt an entire season with your 7mm08? You know, that's a good question. This was the year I'd planned to do it, and then we had so many tags, so many hunts, going so many places that I started out with it. If you followed me in Wyoming, I had my 7mm08 that I shot my mule deer with. Well, then we were out of rifles for other people we were filming. And so since that's on a smaller frame and it's a smaller cartridge, I loaned it out. And then I grabbed my 300 Win Mag after that. So I don't know when I'm going to end up doing that. Maybe someday. Who knows? When will we be talking about the Arizona draw? Because that deadline is February 9th. Well, Ron, we're going to talk about that next week. So, just before I came here, I did my Arizona applications. Today, they opened it up. So if you've ever been in the Arizona system, you got an email December 8th, 9th, or 10th that said, hey, we're changing our portal. Here's your temporary username. Here's your temporary password. Go in there and validate all your information. Well, guess what? If you haven't done that and you go and try to use your portal, it's not working until you go through that process. So think about how many people are going to show up on February 8th or 9th to the Arizona portal and they're not going to be able to get in. So don't be that person. Go find that email right now, right after this is over. And when you do, go validate all your information so it'll work for you. Otherwise, it's just going to be chaos. Let's see. Randy, would you rather have a pair of 15 by 56 binos or 12 by 50s along with a spotter? I'd rather have 10 by 42s along with a spotter. Let's see. What unit in Wyoming is the easiest to draw as a non-resident? Unit 125, but it sucks. There's no public land. So don't apply in Unit 125 unless you have access. So I know that's probably not the answer that you wanted, but the answer usually is it depends. Let's see. Boy, there are a lot of questions tonight, folks. Someone says, quit telling people about the portal thing in Arizona. That's my ace in the hole for getting an archery tag this year. That's funny. Are you and Corey going to get together for a Wyoming or any state hunts this year? Not telling. We got a plan. Hopefully people like what the plan is. Hey, Ryan, look at this guy, folks, right here. Some guy says, I bought 2 boxes of ammo off Michael. The prices were great. Hey, Ryan, this Ryan Oravetez, I'm not sure, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but you're going to get Michael fired because these 2 guys over here are like, well, if Michael's selling ammo, we're going to start selling ammo. All right, Mark Phillips asked a question that's very relevant today. Oh, let me get to this one first. Brad Smith, when are you announcing the winner of the RMEF Win a Hunt drawing? We did that on December, you remember when we did that, Paul? Was that like December 8th? Yeah, the drawing ended the 8th, and I think we announced it on the 20th or 21st, something like that. I was sitting right here in this chair when we did it. And Sean from Georgia was the winner. Let's see, what was it? Oh, somebody's asking some questions that Howa is sending me a new 6.5 PRC. So I see a bunch of questions about, will the 6.5 PRC work for elk? I'm going to find out, maybe. If it's shooting those 140 grain AccuBonds like I think it will, I might end up trying it. So I didn't have one. I don't have one. So, I mean, if they want to send it to me, what the heck? Some of you people are so funny. Some of the things that you say or some of the questions you ask, I know you're trying to get me divorced, is what some of these questions are designed for. Let's see if Randy will take the bait, and if so, we can get him in big, big trouble. Let's see, what else we got? You guys are sending out all kinds of questions here. I can't keep up with them all. Let's see. In Wyoming, David asks, if you put in an application for elk, can you later put in another application for antelope? Yes. So the antelope and deer deadline in Wyoming is May 31st. And moose, goat, and sheep, I think, is February 28th, and bison is sometime in early March. So, this is a good question. What would you consider point purgatory in Wyoming? I'm sitting on a handful, but I don't want to wait to hunt it forever. How many points do you consider your limit? I don't think in Wyoming I would ever have more than 6 points. I probably am never going to have more than 3 because I want to go. And there are general units in Wyoming where every year they're shooting monster bulls. Look at the success rates of what the harvest stats show you for the general tag in Wyoming. It's a killer tag. And if I want to go in the special draw, I can get it like every other year. If I want to go in the less expensive draw, I can get it every 3rd year. Yeah, if it didn't fit your calendar, maybe you'd buy a point or you'd try for a harder unit to see if maybe you drew one of the random tags, but I wouldn't sit on a lot of points in Wyoming. Burn them, keep going, keep going. Your odds, this is my mantra towards Wyoming, is if I draw 5 tags in 20 years, my chances of shooting a really nice bull and having a lot more fun is way better than drawing 1 tag in 15 years or 1 tag in 20 years. Way better. And I'm going to have way, way more fun. So, would I focus on rifle or archery in Wyoming? Yes. If archery was my gig, or even if I did both, I'd probably focus on archery before I'd focus on rifle. You're going to have elk, even in the units where there is some private, those elk are going to be up higher, which is mostly public. So your access to them is going to be better in archery season than in rifle season. Which state is better to hunt wolf in, Montana or Wyoming? Neither. Idaho. Idaho is where you want to go if you're going wolf hunting. Just true. it's fact. How do you handle hunting in grizzly units? We did a whole Elk Talk Live on this a while back. I can't remember what number it was, but it was quite a while back. And, you know, if you go watch that, if you read a lot of the stuff that we put out there, maybe we'll do a YouTube video instead of just an Elk Talk Live session on it. But it can be a bit unnerving. I'll just say that. I mean, the best elk hunting in Montana and Wyoming are the areas with grizzlies. So you learn how to deal with it. You learn how to keep a clean camp. You follow all the rules of food storage, of everything else. And off you go. And keep your head on your shoulders and go have fun. So, let's see. When is Matthew hunting again? I hope this year. I hope he draws a tag. He's my favorite guy to hunt with. I hope that someday, sometime, I would like that opportunity. Here's a non-hunting question from Chuck. Have I ever trapped nutria? No, I haven't. I hear they're kind of like a muskrat. And I didn't know this, but my son, who lives in Oregon now, Matthew, he sent me pictures of them. I guess they're everywhere in Oregon. But I'm getting ready to go do some trapping here pretty soon. See, I got to go trapping so I can have some cash in my pocket to go replenish all the ammo that Michael's been selling out the back door here. Wonder what else he's selling out the back door. Let's see. It was episode 92 where we did, Elk Talk Live episode 92 where we did hunting in grizzly country. What cell phone tripod do you use and like the best? This one right here, it's a Joby. You see it, it's right here beside me. Have I ever hunted Unit 16A for elk in New Mexico? Yes, I've lucked out. I drew an archery tag there, and one time I drew the last rifle tag there. The number of elk in that unit is ridiculous. The downside is drawing a tag is somewhere closer to winning the lottery. So it's tough. Tons of people asking about my Uncle Larry and asking about Bo. Got good updates for both of them. Bo Beatty. He got the news in early December that his cancer is in remission, and then he proceeded to get COVID, just like I did. He and I got it almost the same time, even though we hadn't seen each other for a month, and we both were really sick. And then Uncle Larry, he's still doing really well, in spite of the fact that, you know, he's had all these side effects from chemo and everything. And we're trying to get him hunting again this year. It'd be interesting if we can pull it off. If you watched in 2019, we took my Uncle Larry and my Uncle Mike. They're brothers. My mom is one of the children in between them. Well, we're thinking if we took them on the same hunt, they give each other such a ration of grief. And if you've ever seen the movie Grumpy Old Men with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, that would be Larry and Mike. So if we can pull that off, I'm trying to put it all together. And the crew is arguing and fighting over who gets to go and film Larry and Mike together. We're going to have to start a new channel and put it on the comedy channel if we can pull it off. And what they want to do is they want to do a Wyoming antelope deer combo hunt. We'll see if it works. Let's see. Randy, you should hold the meet and greet. I do a ton of them. I'm scheduled to be at some meet and greets if they're allowed. I mean, a lot of this is dependent on COVID. But there's a bunch of really big sports shows on the West Coast. There's one in Puyallup, Washington. There's one in Portland, Oregon, and one in Bend, Oregon. And I'm scheduled to be there for a meet and greet on all three of those if they get pulled off. And when I'm there, unfortunately, I'm going to be masked up. I'm going to be using all the hand sanitizer, all that, because I don't want to be the reason anyone else gets COVID like I had it last month. I was so sick. I mean, really, really sick. So I would hate to give it to somebody else. Let's see. Have you tried units 34 and 36 in New Mexico? Yep, at least 36. How did the wolf taste? I don't know. We're going to find out a week from tomorrow. We got clearance. We got it all solved. We're eating wolf. And if we're all sick and tip over, I don't know what we're going to do then. I guess it's going to be Randy Newberg, Dead Former Hunter is the name of this YouTube channel. You know, instead of death by dysentery, it'll be death from eating a wolf or something. What the heck? I mean, I'm 56 years old. If I tip over tomorrow, I've already had enough oxygen and took up enough space on this planet. Let somebody else sit in my chair and draw my tags and go do it. I'm kind of like if I was a vehicle, I wouldn't even be part of the scrap heap. They would have recycled me by now. But do I ever come out east for meet and greets? I usually don't make it back there just because the travel is so complicated. I made it last year. I did the keynote address at Pheasant Fest in Minneapolis. That's about as that's about as far as I usually make it. Someone says, hey, make sure you have enough TP for standby. Trust me. After that New Mexico ordeal in 2011, I got one whole bag full of TP. And I don't go with any of this run-of-the-mill cheap stuff. That was one of the deals of my marriage. I told my wife, look, if you buy cheap single-ply toilet paper, this marriage is not going to last. Because my grandpa used to say that really cheap cardboard feeling stuff, it gets all of the new and some of the old, he'd say. I can't believe he used to say that. So, if you're going to raid somebody's toilet paper stash, raid mine. Because it's high quality, like triple fluff, whatever. But let's hear an off-season bugle. About ready to choke here. I don't have a call with me, so I can't do that. And these guys would be mad. Randy, do you ever apply for Kentucky elk? Yep, every year. Every year. But I don't think I'm ever going to draw. Shop story time. Someone's wanting a shop story about my New Mexico chili episode. They're wanting one about the wolf problem. Favorite rifle unit in Nevada? Any elk tag in Nevada is my favorite. It doesn't matter to me if Nevada ever gets around to giving me another elk tag. I drew in 2005. Sign me up. Favorite 338 bullet for elk? AccuBond or Nosler Partition, and probably in a 200 grain. So I don't know what you guys are doing, but you have these two crew members over here laughing so hard. Is it repeatable? I mean, Paul's in tears. The last comment on where? YouTube or on the Google Doc?
Google Doc, highlighted in black.
Oh, great. I don't know. These guys are like, you got to do this. Oh. Someone says they bought all the TP from Michael also, which explains why we don't have any TP over here in the restroom. Michael, if I wasn't around, Michael would probably have my truck up on blocks and selling my tires. Anyone needs some BF Goodrich TKOs, Michael, I'm going to have to start checking out his, what is it, Craigslist? Is that channel where you sell stuff? Selling our TP, selling our ammo. I better do an inventory of our firearms and cameras around here. But, oh, my buddy Jim Bateshell, he assures me the wolf is going to be fine. Jim, I wish you were here to share it with us. Do I know if the RMEF Expo is going to happen this summer? I talked to them a couple weeks ago, and they thought that in Utah, in Park City, that they had sorted out how you were going to do the distancing and everything else, and they were hoping with vaccines, maybe having ramped up by then, maybe that it'll be a go. So I hope it will. I miss that event. I miss seeing all the people. Randy, why a Ford and not a Nissan? Well, every 2 years I go through the reevaluation of trucks. And so I went and evaluated them all. And I got a screaming deal on a Raptor from some guy who needed to get out of it. It was one model year old and had 800 miles. I mean, I'm very impressed with that Raptor, I'll be honest with that. But even with that, there's no way I would pay full sticker price for a Raptor. I'm just too much of a tightwad accountant. But this guy sold it for a deal like you can't even believe. And so I ended up with a used Raptor instead of a Titan. Even though in my prior 5 trucks, I'd bought 5 Titans, Nissan sent me one, so I had 6 Titans, and I loved them. They're great trucks. And I was leaning towards another Titan until this Raptor came up for the price it was. So, but Zeb says, I'll buy that ammo that's on your table right now. Let me give you Michael's number. It sounds like it's Michael at onyourownadventures.com. And he's over goose hunting right now. His phone's going to be there, lighting up. Uh-oh, someone says, hey, Randy, little bad news, your Raptor was stolen. I bought a stolen rig. That's not good. Let's see. Someone says Nissan marketing department fail. I tried. I know what to say. They're good people there, but it just didn't work out. When is the new season of Fresh Tracks going to be released? That's the discussion around this office. We haven't decided yet, have we? David's halfway done with them. I got to see the Colorado version yesterday. I sent him back a bunch of comments. Let's see. Randy, is hunting District 215 in Montana good for elk? I don't know. I've never hunted it. So, someone says there's a raptor listed on Michael's eBay channel in Bozeman, Montana. I better go check. Maybe it's not up on blocks. Maybe he loses everything. Maybe he lost my keys and he didn't tell me about it or something. Let's see. Do I put in for Pennsylvania elk? No, I don't. That's one state that I don't, just because I looked at. It's really, really tough. Let me see. Was it the free flat bill hat that put you over the edge on the Raptor? Do I look like a flat bill kind of guy? I mean, come on. I'm not. I'm sorry. I mean, some people are, and that's cool, but I'm just, I'm old school. I was going to say something. I'm really glad I didn't. Thoughts on the new 6.8 Western? I don't know. I haven't shot one. I don't have one. Hard to say. It'd probably be a good cartridge. Randy, what is the best state for a newbie to be an elk hunter? If I was just getting into it, the two states I'd be building points in would be Arizona and Wyoming. Because Arizona, even though you got to buy the non-refundable license, you get points. And after enough years, you get a loyalty point, which adds to your total. And you also, for the cost of that license, you get to apply for deer, for sheep, javelina, turkey. And you can go down there, and it's some of the best small game and upland bird hunting in the world. So you're going to get a whole lot of good stuff out of that license. When are we going to see a video about some cooked wolf? Well, if we film the video next Thursday, it'll probably drop within a week or two after that. It says, Randy, you look baked. Dude, you look baked. You know what? I don't know what to tell you. They got me under these hot lights here, man. They're baking me. I also got a bum liver that only operates at about 30%. So most days I look hungover just because I'm all swollen and puffy because I got a liver that can't get rid of the toxins. I can't drink, so that's not an excuse for me looking half baked or all the way baked. I don't know. Did you guys, maybe we need a makeup person around here or something. Do I hunt Washington for elk? Nope, I don't. Washington, Oregon, California, they have elk and non-residents can apply, but it's really tough for non-residents. When you look at all the other good opportunities that are out there, you'd be way better off spending your time, your money, and your travel to go to other states. So that's why we really don't focus on those ones. Some people will draw, especially residents in those states, and they'll have great hunts. I'm not saying that that can't happen. Does Wyoming have a point guard type thing like Arizona? No, it doesn't. That's a good thing you brought up. In Arizona, for $5, you can pretty much buy an insurance policy that if you draw and you can't make your hunt, or say it's a terrible drought, you want to turn your tag back in, one time in your, I don't know if it's once in your life, but anyhow, you can turn that tag back in, and if you've bought point guard, it'll restore your points. So, how's that? Is a 7mm Remington mag too much recoil in a lightweight mountain rifle? Depends on what you think of as lightweight mountain rifle, but if you're talking about one of those 5-pounders, yeah, it's going to knock your teeth loose every time you pull the trigger. And then people say, well, I'll just put a brake on it. Well, then you got to walk around with about 4 pounds of hearing muffs on just to shoot the darn thing. So there's balance there between weight savings. For me, I used to really think, oh, I need this 5-pound rifle. I got away from that. Yeah. I look at the stuff in my pack that I can sort out, that I can probably not have to hunt with a 5-pound rifle instead of 7-pound rifle, I'll get rid of some other stuff in my pack, and I'm not going to get rattled and beat on every time I pull that trigger. And I don't do brakes. Now, I will say, I am thinking about putting a suppressor on my rifle and hunting with it. Because this ear, when I plug this ear, my hearing doesn't change. If I plug this ear, I can't hear anything. And the reason that is, I'm right-handed, and this ear is always exposed to the muzzle. And don't be like Randy. Don't be like me. Protect your hearing. Please protect your hearing. And I'm thinking about getting a suppressor just for that purpose. So, let's see. Would you ever do a cow elk hunt episode? Yeah, we've thought about it many times, but it just seems like we run out of time. This year, we've talked about this spring, doing some episodes that show how crazy our production schedule and workload is of what we do. I think people would be like, how do you guys pull off 15 hunts a year if it takes that much time, that much effort, that much in film permit costs, everything else? Now somebody says they bought a bunch of waypoints from Michael. Wonder if he got those off my GPS. Oh man, I'm in for $1,000 for Randy's GPS, it says. Well, here's what we're doing, folks. When I'm so old and cobbled I can't do this anymore, we're going to auction off my waypoints. Each state is going to be its own auction, and the money's going to RMEL. Or we'll raffle it. I don't know, one or the other. Colorado elk, 9 points. Should I burn or stay? I would burn them. I burned them with 3 points last year and had a great hunt. Colorado, once you get past 3 or 4 points, from 3 to 12, it's almost close to the same. Just burn them and go. Find where you want to be, find what season you want to hunt, and just go do it. Don't stack up a ton of points in Colorado. You're never going to catch the curve. Our shoulder season's coming to an end in Montana, not that I'm aware of. So someone says, Randy, suppressors are da bomb. Do it. That's good to hear. I'm glad that I'm not completely traveling down a path that's stupid. Let's see. What is my favorite rifle? Probably the one that's in my hand at that time. I know that sounds kind of flippant, and it's not meant to be. What it's meant to be is I have a ton of rifles that I love, and it's just a function of what I think is the best rifle for that application, by species, by how far shots I think it's going to be. Is it mountains or prairie, or what about any of that? So let's see. Randy, are you ever going to make it to Oregon? I tried last year. Matthew and I were going to do an elk hunt in November, but because of COVID, because of film permit issues, everything else, I ended up eating the tag. So maybe someday I'm going to get there. What's the best state to build youth points? Arizona, hands down. $5 for a non-resident youth license in Arizona. So why does Matthew have 20 points for sheep, for deer, for antelope, and he's still a young punk? Because I started building points for him in Arizona when he was 10. $5 for the license, $5 for a point. So if you have young hunters in your house and you are not applying them in Arizona for the $5 non-resident license cost, just turn off the TV now or the computer. You're not my friend. Because someday you're going to wish you had, and you're going to take that young hunter to Arizona and have a fantastic hunt. So it's the best, most favorable way to build points for young hunters is Arizona. I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot to talk about that. Oh, what else we got? Are you guys over there laughing again? What is with all of the questions that are so funny? Randy, you ever hunt Wyoming elk in Unit 7 or 45? I haven't. I haven't hunted either of them. So, let's see. Should I change my application strategy in Colorado for the new season dates? They are significantly later. If you're talking about elk, yeah, I'd think about it. Maybe buy points until it starts creeping back up to where it was. And it's just, like this year it opened October 10th, first rifle. They were still bugling. They were going crazy. And it was a great hunt. And that's right at the end of that bugling rut period. So I'd let season dates determine some of my application strategy. So let's see. Have ever got bit by a rattlesnake? Nope, don't ever want to. Run into them a lot out there, but I'm not too worried about it. Now that I say that, watch, I'll get bit this summer. Christian says, public service announcement, stay away from Wyoming. No animals live here. They all went to Colorado. This is a good question, Stanson. Randy, should I be worried about using my Utah points for a limited entry hunt this fall with how bad the drought is? Will it affect the size and general health of the bulls and the herds in general? Yes, you should be worried, and if the drought continues, yes, it can affect that. And you're going to see this in the video that we filmed for Arizona that we'll release next week. Arizona's under terrible drought right now. One of the worst droughts they've ever had. And people say, well, it's desert. What do you expect? No, up in the high country where the elk live, it's still a really, really bad drought. And I'm wondering, what is that going to do to the elk numbers, both in terms of their health, their antler growth, and then what's that going to do to applicants who look at that and say, you know, I'm just going to buy a point this year. Well, maybe this is the year that you can get greater value out of your points. And there's still going to be some nice bulls killed in Arizona, even if there's a drought. But there's going to be a lot fewer of those really top-end bulls that everyone dreams of. And the same could be said for Nevada, Utah, New Mexico. So, yeah, that is kind of the case. Let's see. On the edge hunting, it says, quit messing up Arizona over-the-counter and leftover tags. You and Steve Ranella destroyed these hunts. I like you, but your douchebag factor has ruined a lot of quality hunts in Arizona. Really. A little piece of information you might want to know is that the over-the-counter archery hunts that we do for coos deer in Arizona, not even 10% of those go to non-residents. So, I don't know what to tell you. You might want to go talk to your commissioner or something, because they're available. They're over the counter. You're not going to impact that resource in Arizona by archery coos hunting. So, sorry. It is the way it is. I'm coming to Arizona hunting as long as they'll let me. I love the place. I went to school there for 2 years. I've been hunting in Arizona since 1984. So, video paused, reconnecting. Would you guys cut me off? Oh, all right. Anyhow, so go to Arizona, get a bunch of value out of your license. Go buy that non-resident hunting license in Arizona, because with it, you can apply for elk and antelope in February. You can apply for limited entry deer and sheep in June. You can apply for javelina and turkey in October. And it's got amazing bird hunting, amazing small game hunting. And if you want to, you can do what I do, what this person just complained about. You can go down and hunt archery coos deer in January. Go do it. So, anyhow. Oh, funny stuff. Have I ever considered hunting waterfowl? Oh man, the crew's over hunting geese here in Montana right now, but I couldn't go because I'm too busy. Dang. I wish it wasn't too busy. Let's see. Someone says it's raining in Arizona right now. That's good. Wonder what it's doing in Wyoming. Wyoming, last I checked, Wyoming's having a pretty mild winter, which could be good. If that's the case, you're going to see a rebound in deer and antelope numbers in Wyoming very quick. Elk don't have as much of a fluctuation because of that. The age class might have a little bit of an impact because of hard winters, but it's definitely not going to be nearly what impact you see with deer and antelope. But they're going to rebound, or deer and antelope are going to rebound a lot quicker than elk if elk ever do go down because of that. But could be a really good year in Wyoming for elk hunting this year. Someone says, oh no, Wyoming's in a bad drought. And maybe it is. I mean, we don't have much snow here right now. Maybe Wyoming's there also. But you really don't know in the northern Rockies until you get through, March. That's when you know what it's really like. So, let's see. Why does New Mexico give so many tags to the guided hunt pool? You'd have to ask their legislature that. I don't know, but they do. And every state comes up with these rules. Like the person earlier was just, kind of worked up about Arizona rules. Well, a lot of times the legislature makes up these rules. That's how it is in Wyoming about the special regular draw. That was the legislature who came up with that, not the game department. In this instance, New Mexico, that the person asked the question about, it was the legislature who came up with the 84% to residents, 10% to guided hunters, 6% to non-guided non-residents. It's really hard to explain why, because it's legislatures, right? They're politicians. They're going to do what they're going to do. Let's see. Technology-wise, do you think bonus point systems can creep? Bonus point systems, yeah, they're kind of quote-unquote creep. The real systems that creep are preference point systems. Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, and to some degree Arizona. Those 4 states have a component of preference point to their draw, to the point where Colorado's 100% preference point, and that's where you see a ton of creep. And this morning, Jonathan and I filmed a 40-minute video on point creep. I've been doing this for 25 years, just non-resident, multi-state application stuff. And I've seen where the point creep stuff happens. And it's trends that you can identify. And if you look at other information that we explain in that video, it's probably not going to be nearly as big of a surprise if you have point creep. So, let's see. Let me look here. Before we get too far towards the end, let's just make sure we thank the partners who make this possible, right? Bowtech, Leupold, Go Hunt, Gerber, Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, Canatrek, Mystery Ranch, Black Gold, Tight Spot, Ripcord, Elkhorn Coffee Roasters, University of Elk Hunting. Probably forgot a couple. Probably did. Sorry if I did. But anyhow, at most of those, if you use promo code RANDY, you're going to save money. Like Alpaca Rafts. They don't sponsor this, but if you go buy your Alpaca Raft and use promo code RANDY2021, you're going to get a big discount. So always try promo code RANDY. And if it's a company that you buy a lot of stuff from and they don't have a promo code RANDY, let me know. I'll try to get you a promo code RANDY. So, what are you guys laughing about over there? These guys are, I can't believe how much laughing they're doing here. When are we going to do Antelope Talk live instead of Elk Talk live? Probably not. But we always throw a few antelope questions in here, right? Here's a good one. What percentage threshold of public land in a unit is pushing the limits of where I'm willing to go? I would say once you start getting less than 50% public, I'm like, I don't know. But you start getting down below 40%, I'm probably going to pass unless I really have some secret or some backdoor kind of place I can get into that, with llamas, all right, I can do this. And most other people would say, I'm not going that far. So I would say 50% is kind of my threshold. So I'm going to, I see DB keeps polluting the segment with the same question time and time and time and time again. One thing, if you follow Elk Talk Live, asking the question 35 times probably makes it even less likely that I'm going to answer it. But no, I'm not hunted around Butte. But Randy, would you recommend using a 308 on an elk? Yeah, I got a whole wall full of bulls that didn't get the memo that a 308 can't kill an elk. Right here, what do I got here? These are 308 cartridges. 165 grain Nosler partition, killed a lot of elk with that. 168 grain Nosler ETEP. Boom. Serious elk medicine. So, I love them. How's my llama doing? Oh, Bo sent me a picture of Mac. Mac is a problem child. So, when I bought the llama from Bo, I got to use them all year. And then Bo said, but you got to let me have them for breeding season and for the summer packing season. So, Bo's got Mac down at his place, and he sends me these videos of Mac, and the guy is just a clown, but he's a packing machine. Man, that llama is serious packer. So he's just growing up. He's 4 years old, or almost 4. He'll get there. So some people, you guys are so funny. How price insensitive are non-residents? It seems like fees keep rising. Yes, they do. And so do applications. Yes, they do. We don't seem to be even close to a breaking point. Steve and I agree. I don't think we are near a breaking point. It's just, there's a couple of things. I think the economy, when it's better, you see more people doing this. You see people who, now these point systems have been in place for a long time. Colorado's point system has been in place for well over 30 years. And so you got people who have 10, 15, 20, 25 points, and they look at this and say, with all that I've invested in this hunt, I'm going. I don't care what the price is. And so you've got people who've been doing this for a long time. And as a result, they're at the point in their life where both time and budget, they probably can afford to apply and hunt more. So I know people like to say, and this is, I can tell you that when I first started Western big game hunting in 1984, everyone said it's a rich man's sport. And I hear that today. I hear that every year. And yes, it does cost money. But back in 1984, people weren't hunting multiple states, really. They weren't, it was a very small group of people that were hunting anywhere other than, hey, we're going deer hunting, in our home state. The big fee increases you're going to see this year is Idaho and Utah. Utah only raised their license fee a little bit, but they raised their tag fees 30 to 40%. So, it's, thoughts on the new Rocky Mountain hunting call aluminum bugle tube. Jonathan and I got to see that as a prototype on our hunt. So here's Jonathan, the camera guy. He's there, and Kurt, the owner of Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, he's like, you can't film this. And he breaks out the aluminum bugle and really lets it rip. The quality and the tone is excellent, and it is loud. And I don't think it weighs much more than one of the plastic tubes. So it's, I think it's going to be really good. Jimbo says, hey Randy, I found out how sharp your Gerber knives are. I hope you're okay. They are sharp, really sharp. Right here, built for elk hunting. And if you want a discount, go to gerbergear.com and buy these And when you check out, use promo code Randy, they'll give you 20% off. Let's see. You people are way, way too funny. What bow tack do I hunt with? This year I hunted with a Realm. So I don't know. I have a couple of them, and just which one is feeling better. They shoot so smooth, so good for me. I am the weak link of my equipment, no doubt about it. Whether it's bow tack or Howa or Leupold or Nosler or whatever it is, I'm always the weak link. So, let's see. Randy, I have 20 points for elk in Arizona. What unit would you apply for muzzleloader? Unit 9. Yeah. And I'm trying to think, is Unit 1 a muzzleloader hunt this year also? If so, I'd go to Unit 1 also. Someone says, Randy, those Arizona antelope jackrabbits in the crock pot are amazing. They sure are. Randy, how much private land do you own? I have 2 acres south of town. I have this building. I have 5 acres north of town, and I have 20 acres up at our fishing lake. My brother and sister and I own a little parcel of land along the river in Minnesota, but I wish I owned a lot more. I spent it all on hunting. So, hey, I got my free gators from Kenetrek. Thank you. You must have used promo code Randy. Cool. Where is Marcus? Marcus is goose hunting. Randy, what is your opinion on the Arizona trail cam potential ban? You know, that's a really good question. I don't own a trail cam myself. Stealth Cam sent our crew some cameras, and these guys got to teach me how to use them. I said the first video we do is going to be you guys teaching me how to use them because I've never used them. In Montana, they just got legalized a couple of years ago. But I understand some of the concerns are that in a dry state like Arizona, when you have 40 trail cameras on this one little water hole in a drought year, and that's where all the wildlife has to come, and you got a steady stream of people there, it's disruptive to the wildlife trying to get water. So I don't really have an opinion. Randy, what is the reason you have to obtain a film permit? Well, if you are a commercial enterprise, TV show, YouTube channel, you know, whatever it is, you're supposed to get a public land film permit if you're filming on federal lands, Bureau of Land Management or U.S. Forest Service or U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. I can tell you that the compliance rate is somewhere below about 20%, probably. But I feel that I'm using a public resource, I should have to pay a fee. So many months in advance, we have to say, here's where we're going to go. Here's what dates we're going to be there. And you fill out this form and you attach all of your operating plan, everything else, and you submit it to the agency and they approve your film permit. And that's all right. Like you'll see some of the hunts we've done, people say, well, why did you stay right there? Well, because this is the mountain range or this is the unit we had our film permit for. We can't just pick up and go because we didn't ask for a film permit over there or over there or over there. Because every jurisdiction or every district you ask for another film permit in, usually it's another fee. And the fee, depending on which agency it is, ranges anywhere from $100 to $200 a day. There's an application fee. You have to be bonded and insured. So I'm using public land. I should pay a fee. The rancher pays a fee. The outfitter pays a fee. Everybody using public land pays a fee. And I should pay a fee. Maybe I shouldn't have to pay as big a fees as we pay. We pay about almost $25,000 a year in public land film permit fees. So it's just part of doing business. It is confining at times though, because it's frustrating when you see elk way over there in that other mountain range when you're driving by, but you don't have a film permit, even though your tag is good for that area. But you say, well, I guess they'd be over here, and that's where my tag is good for also, and you're kind of stuck there. But oh well, it's the way it goes. That's why our job is a little more complicated, but that's why these guys get paid so much money. They're all looking at each other like, huh? Oh man, I miss doing this stuff. I miss all of you people. Thanks so much for being here. I think we're going to wrap it up. Next week we're going to do Arizona, and hopefully you'll come with some really good questions for Arizona. I really, really appreciate the support that all of you give us, whether it's our YouTube channel, our Hunt Talk Radio podcast, our Elk Talk podcast. It's so amazing that you guys support us the way we do. And it's also, in my mind, a really big statement about what a wonderful country we live in. And a lot of you have heard me say that lately. In the last year, I try to end this by reminding us that we live in the best country in the world. Because we have a tendency to get kind of worked up about all this stuff, when really we're very similar. We're neighbors, we're in the same communities, our kids go to the same schools. We don't gain anything by fighting and arguing with each other on Facebook. In fact, I think we should have a blow up your Facebook contest someday. But I want people to be happy. I'm the luckiest guy I know, and if I can share a little bit of what I've been blessed with, it's not information, it's mostly just storytelling. I feel that I should do that. When you're as lucky as I am and you're as blessed as I am, I think it's your duty to try and make other people smile and laugh a little bit. So I really appreciate y'all being here. Stay healthy, stay happy, and hopefully we'll see you next week.